Hello everybody, my name is Wukepedia, and I just got done watching GenerikB's video, and I wanted to do a video response to show him a couple suggestions I had for his industrial TNT generator maker. So, I was worried, this is just a simple power setup, just mimic his. I was worried about overflow on his system. The way that it is right now, after enough time passes, I know that he's going to automate the gunpowder, but after enough time passes, he's pumping sand and flint into the fabricators. So if they fill up, since it's a shared inventory that they craft into and from, they're not going to be able to craft even if they have the required materials nearby. They're going to need a space, so you're going to have to manually come and fix it every now and then it'll go. But you can't be there every time, or unless you have it perfectly synced so that you get just enough gunpowder and enough sand and everything and flint, it's going to be, it'll end up not working. So then the other part is, because of this could overflow because of all of these, and then let me turn this on to where he would have it, is when there's room in the pulverizer for gravel, and this thing will be pulsing to pull out the gravel. If there is even just a tiny bit of space, the gravel is going to go in and fill it up, and because it takes time for the gravel to travel, every time you have space for one gravel, there's going to be about 5 or 6 that fall in the ground. You'll see it there. So as long as there's gravel to pump out, it's going to end up spilling on the ground all the time, because you don't have any sort of a fail-safe. And then the flint isn't actually going to come out of here until that first stack of gravel is gone, and then once it goes into here, that flint will spill on the ground as well because it's full. So this is just anticipating that you've left it AFK for a while and you've run out of gunpowder or not enough, and then this stops up because it's full of sand, and then the gunpowder or the TNT can't be created because there's no space in the inventory. So in order to correct that, see, it's still going like crazy, and since there's room for all the gravel, the red pipe thing's going to come on, just stuff's going everywhere. So I'm trying to help you with lag as much as I can. This is my first video actually for you guys. And then also with your chest, I know you haven't automated it yet. Having a gunpowder chest here for this one works great, but then you can't pull out of this one for the industrial TNT to go anywhere. So I would recommend putting it back here or something, and then have it so you can pull out and go over towards your complosion impressor. But I have an idea to improve upon it. This is mine. It's pretty similar. Going into a chest with the pulverizers is a great method. So I still have the igneous going into the rock crusher and into this pulverizer to make the sand, and then the sand is automatically dumped into this chest. When this chest fills, it's going to stop producing sand and gravel from here. So then this is where, I don't know, this was for testing purposes. This will never actually get fed any items. It'll just be pulling from adjacent inventories. You'll pipe in your gunpowder to the one behind, sand to here. It'll make the TNT, and it'll only hold TNT. So it'll constantly craft until it's full of TNT. Then when it's time for the industrial TNT, this one will pull from that, and then it'll get the flint from here, which is coming from this pulverizer, which is getting the excess gravel from that one, and then also getting the gravel from the rock crusher. I did use your, I gotta turn this off. So I did use your same pipe design here. If there's room for gravel, red pipe signal, and then right there. But I did use 2 diamond pipes. So this one will end up putting the flint into that chest just where that other flint was going. So when it does eventually get there, let me turn this on. And then if the flint box ever fills, which would be a very long time for you to get that far behind on flint, it'll end up void piping it because it'll go to the next valid pipe location that isn't assigned. So you have a fail safe there with the void pipe. And then this one is programmed to go blue is gravel, and then if the blue is full, if this one ends up filling up with gravel, it's just going to void pipe it. So it'll very rarely waste gravel and flint because these pulverizers and that chest are going to be able to contain a lot of stuff. And basically all this does is it allows you to have your machines work longer for you while you're AFK in order to store up some. So then all of a sudden you come here, this is full of sand, full of flint. All you have to do is dump as much gunpowder in here as you have, and it's going to pull it all out, and it's going to be done, and this will be pulling out ITNT that quickly. So that's my preferred method. If you don't like having these chests here, you could just use the machines as the buffer. So that's what I've done on this one. I've just cut out the chests. It's not really much more simple or anything, and it's a smaller buffer, and if you're going to be having a steady enough flow to be almost equal on gunpowder and sand, this one will work just fine, because you're not going to need much of a buffer. This is never going to get filled. So you'll only be able to make 2 stacks of sand and 2 stacks of flint worth of, probably less actually. Well, I suppose once this is on, you'll be able to have a smaller amount of stored ITNT up, unless you're having the gunpowder come in steady enough. But if you're still feeding it by hand, this would be the way to go. Even, if you're not, for some reason the bees stop working, or if the bees don't produce enough for this, because this could make a lot of flint and a lot of sand if left on. So if you can manually feed it to speed it up, that would be my preference for you. But this one would work as well. And then all you have to have is the pulverizer to an open inventory. It can't be closed or it won't pull out of it from this machine. Same on this one, you'll have to have it open. But yeah, the power is just tesseracts. You can use whatever you need. And then for this one, just space for gravel, energy pulsar, and then it'll pump it out. But I don't know, I was worried about overflow with this one. As you can see, flint and gravel will eventually pop out unless you exactly, precisely measure how much gunpowder you need for how much this can produce, which is a little bit hard when you're dealing with a 5% chance of getting gravel, a 5% chance of getting flint or whatever. You'd have to have some huge averages, and there's just not enough buffer space for you on that. I think this is the best way for you to go. Really isn't much more expensive, just an extra diamond pipe, void pipes, and a chest or 2. And it's basically the same setup. So, hope you liked the video. Love your whole channel, your series, everything you do. Love it. Love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you do, hopefully GenerikB gets to see this. Bye-bye.